Let's be real, the single biggest lie about ambition is that you have to be restless. You have to be unhappy with where you are right now. But it's time to stop letting that relentless pursuit of more completely burn you out. Because here's the scientific truth. Spending just 3 minutes acknowledging what you already have can literally rewire your brain. We're talking about generating the kind of focused energy that boosts your motivation by a proven 25%, making hard work feel, well, easier and just inevitable. You know the idea I'm talking about, right? We've all been sold on it, that to be successful, you have to be constantly dissatisfied, that achieving anything great means living in this state of perpetual craving for the next thing, the next win, the next goal. But that's not just wrong, it's an absolute recipe for burnout. It's a broken model that confuses anxious, frantic energy with real, sustainable drive. So, what if I told you there's a better way? A way to increase your motivation, and I mean your actual intention to put in real effort, by a proven 25%. Now, this isn't some motivational platitude or a feel-good idea. This is a number backed by neuroscience. This is about using a very specific cognitive tool to create a measurable biological shift in your ability to do the hard things. All right, so let's unpack this whole thing, starting with what I call the ambition lie. And at its core is this incredible paradox. The constant chase for more is very often the very thing that's holding you back. You see, true lasting drive doesn't come from obsessing over what you don't have. It comes from a strategic, deep appreciation for what you do have. I know it sounds totally counterintuitive, especially in our hustle culture, but the science on this is absolutely clear. Just think about it for a second. That constant chase for the next goal, it creates this baseline of anxiety, of restlessness. It's a frantic kind of energy. This 3-minute gratitude practice does the exact opposite. It grounds you. It actually shifts your brain's chemistry from a state of craving to a state of control and focused power. This isn't just about feeling good, you guys. It's about creating the perfect neurological environment for deep, meaningful work. Okay, next up, let's talk about your brain's default setting. Because if you've ever felt stuck or totally overwhelmed, or you just can't seem to get started on that big project, well, there's a scientific reason for that. It isn't a character flaw, and it's not a lack of discipline. It's just your biology. Your brain is wired for ancient survival, not necessarily for your modern goals. And that reason has a name: the negativity bias. This is your brain's old-school, hardwired survival tool. It's constantly scanning your world for threats, for problems, for what's missing. It's designed to spot the one thing that's wrong before it even notices the 99 things that are right. And in our modern world, this bias doesn't just protect you from saber-toothed tigers, it devours your cognitive resources, the very mental energy you need for things like creativity, strategy, and getting stuff done. And this creates a really clear choice, a real fork in the road. Over here on the left, you've got the anxious brain, totally trapped by that negativity bias. It's focused on what's lacking, which leads to that constant rumination, that endless worry loop, and eventually decision paralysis. You're so busy thinking about what could go wrong that you end up doing nothing at all. But over on the right, you have the focused brain. It has cognitive control, it's capable of deep work, and it has high resilience. That's the state where your best work happens. Our job right now is to build a bridge from the left to the right. And here's the secret to that bridge: gratitude. But not as a soft, passive feeling. We're talking about gratitude as a powerful, strategic intervention. Think of it as a neurological countermove. You are consciously choosing where to put your attention. By forcing your brain to focus on what's present and what's positive, you actively shatter that cycle of rumination and you reclaim the mental space you need to think clearly and act decisively. So, how do we actually do this? Look, this isn't about vaguely thinking happy thoughts. This is a disciplined, almost analytical process. So let's get into the core framework, the 3-part gratitude system for cognitive control. Here are the 3 distinct phases, and each one is crucial. First, the specific recall habit. This is where you document in detail 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Second, and this is the key, is the mental subtraction principle. It's what makes this whole practice incredibly powerful. And third, the commitment reinforcement loop, where we connect this positive state directly to a future action. Every step is precise and it's repeatable. I really want to focus on step 2 for a moment: mental subtraction. Honestly, this is a total game changer. Instead of just thinking about the good stuff you have, you actively imagine what it would be like without it. You ask yourself this simple question: what negative thing was avoided today? Maybe that annoying meeting got canceled, saving you an hour of stress. Or maybe you didn't get stuck in that traffic jam you saw forming up ahead. This simple act stops you from taking good things for granted, and it just dramatically deepens your appreciation. It makes the positive things in your life feel less like a given and more like a gift. Okay, so we've covered the what. Now we're moving into the why. We're literally going to hack your brain's reward circuit. This is the neuroscience that explains exactly why this system creates such a powerful and, more importantly, resilient kind of motivation. So when you practice this specific, detailed kind of gratitude, you are actively firing up a key part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. You can think of this as your brain's CEO. It's the hub for rational decisions, for long-term planning. Specifically, you're lighting up a part called the medial prefrontal cortex, or MPFC, which governs your emotional regulation and, crucially, your impulse control. Strengthening this area is like doing reps at the gym, but for your willpower. It literally makes you better at resisting distractions and choosing the long-term goal over the easy short-term impulse. And this practice triggers a release of key neurotransmitters. But listen, not all dopamine is created equal. The dopamine of craving, the kind you get from checking your phone or wanting that next big thing, it's restless, it's unstable, it always leaves you wanting more. But the dopamine that gets triggered by this gratitude system, it's different, it's stable, it's resilient. It's tied to your own internal resources, and it creates a genuine sense of capability and satisfaction, not that nagging feeling of lack. This is the actual chemistry of sustainable drive. So, let's connect all the dots here. You activate your MPFC, which strengthens your self-control. You release a stable, resilient form of dopamine. This rewired reward system is exactly what delivers that tangible, measurable 25% boost in your intention to put in the effort. You become psychologically and biologically more resilient, you're less likely to procrastinate, and you're more committed to tackling the hard things that actually move the needle. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's make this incredibly real. We're shifting gears now into practical coaching mode. This is your actionable blueprint. This is exactly what you're going to do tomorrow morning. There are 3 simple steps to build this habit so that you don't burn through willpower. First, you're going to stack the habit. Anchor this new 3-minute ritual to something you already do every single morning. For instance, after I open my laptop, but before I check my email, I will write my 3 gratitudes. Second, apply the Specificity Rule relentlessly. For the next 30 days, make a deal with yourself, no generic stuff. And third, you're going to build the motivation bridge, which is where you translate that good feeling directly into fuel for action. Let's really double-click on that specificity rule, because it is everything. Generic gratitude, like I'm grateful for my health, is fine, but it's vague and it has no real neurological bite. Specific gratitude sounds like this. I'm grateful my morning coffee didn't spill, that's the what, allowing me to start my critical task immediately, that's the why, without 10 minutes of cleanup stress. See the difference? You are actively training your brain's attentional filter to notice the small, positive, actionable details that actually support your success. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe our most important takeaway. We have to completely reframe how we think about motivation. It is not some magical feeling that you have to wait for. Motivation is a skill. It's something you cultivate. And the ultimate lesson here is simple. Your energy follows your attention. So let's bring it all together. This isn't just some wellness exercise. The gratitude trick is a high-performance tool. It's a tool that solves the very real problem of stress-induced decision paralysis. And why does that matter? Because it gives you a system, a reliable system, to generate the focused motivation you need, on demand exactly when you need it most. That new habit you're going to start, that specific recall, it's a cognitive workout. It directly strengthens your prefrontal cortex, the biological home of your self-control. And that is the mechanism that provides that proven 25% boost in your willingness to put in the effort. You are literally building a more focused, a more resilient brain. And if you take absolutely nothing else away from this, remember this one thing. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about mastering systems that make focus feel effortless. Stop chasing the high of some future ambition and start generating the power of appreciation right here, right now. And that brings me to my final question for you. And I mean this as a direct challenge. You have the science, you have the framework, you have the blueprint. The only thing left now is action. So, will you test this 3-minute ritual tomorrow morning?